Hi, I'm Shapeshift. I am the jungler for Team Serenity in LCS Game Changers.
I want to start off here with hearing about your journey. So walk me through all those steps. How did you start to how you are now?
So it was like 2012 or 2013, and my brother was like, "Hey, have you heard of this game, League of Legends?" And I was like, "No, I have not." And so he was playing it, and we played it together, and we played for like a week. He ended up hating it, and he stopped playing forever. He's never played since. But like a few months later, I am talking to some friends at school, and they're like, "Have you heard of this game, League of Legends?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I actually have heard of this game, League of Legends." And so that's when we really started playing. Was like season 3, season 4, and we played for a couple of years with a group of 4. We never had a full 5 stack. We always were trying to get an extra friend into the game because there were 4 of us, but nobody ever stuck with it except for us 4. So we were always like eternally looking for our 5th, and we never found anyone. And then of course they all end up quitting the game a couple years later, right? I stuck with it, and obviously, and I ended up playing a lot in like season 5 through season like 9 or whatever. That's when I was really like grinding a lot, like on my own and making friends on League, right? That I was playing with because my IRL friends were quitting the game and like moving on to doing other stuff, but I still liked it. So met a bunch of people through League, kept playing, and then it was actually season 11 when I was at that point. I was still bouncing between mid and jungle. I was like high plat, low diamond. I have a friend who was like a jungle coach, right? And I was like, if I decided to learn jungle, will you coach me? And he was like, only if you actually stick to it, because I switch back and forth all the time. And so I was like, okay, fine, I'll actually stick to it. And I played Nidalee exclusively for like a month straight and shot from like plat 2 or something to like 300 LP in like a month or 2. And I was like, oh, okay, this is fun. I like this. And I never switched back since that because, clearly something worked. Yeah.
That's awesome. Nidalee, wow, you would get along with Rafa. He loves Nidalee as well.
Yes, no, my favorite champion, easily, Nidalee.
So why Nidalee then?
So actually, one of the 4 people that I got into the game playing with, was a Nidalee main. He played Nidalee top. Before this champion was a jungler in the first place. And so I had played it a little bit, so I was like, oh, you like this champion, like maybe I would like this champion. And then he quit the game, and they made Nidalee a jungler, and I was like, oh, actually this champion is pretty fun. And so off and on from season 6 to season 11, I would just play Nidalee sometimes, right? And randomly in season 8, I just decided to play Nidalee jungle for like 50 games and shot up from like, I don't know, gold to like D3-ish MMR, and then stopped playing it completely for years for no reason. But I was just like, Nidalee is fun, and then I got burnt out and stopped playing it. But I've always loved Nidalee. I think she's the most fun champion in the game, easily.
Is that where the name comes from?
Yes, actually. Shapeshift comes from season 5. Again, I was playing Jace, Elise, Nidalee at the time, and the only one of those I play still is Nidalee. But yeah, so at the time I was playing all the Shapeshift champions, and I needed a name change because my name was just a bunch of numbers. And so I was like, okay, well, I should probably change my name. And Shapeshift was open somehow, and so I took it.
Nice. That's all of them, right? Are you missing any? Like,
no,
Shyvana
at the time that was all of them. Shyvana doesn't count. I think Gnar was out at that point, but I didn't play Gnar or care about Gnar. I don't know, Kayn wasn't a champion at the time.
Yeah.
If we want to pretend that Kayn counts, but Kayn doesn't count.
They really haven't released like a new one, have they?
No, literally I've been waiting because they're my favorite type of champion because Nidalee is so much fun, and I like having 7 abilities. And the reason I don't play Elise is, that's a jungler, that's a shapeshifter. She feels so much clunkier than Nidalee, mostly because the R cooldown is longer and it doesn't ever reset. So Nidalee ult has a shorter cooldown, and also it has a reset when you mark someone. But Elise, you are always 4-second locked out from switching forms when you switch, and it feels terrible. I hate it.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm learning about the mechanics of champions as well. This is awesome. Yeah. So, what makes you want to compete though? Where does your competitive drive come from?
So it was right after I got to Masters in Season 11, And it was like a month later that the announcement went up for the first Game Changers event, the inaugural Game Changers event. And I was like, oh, that's crazy perfect timing. And I didn't think I would get in because I had just hit Masters and I was only Masters and all I was playing was Nidalee. But there weren't a lot of junglers, I guess, who applied. And I got in. And it was really that first experience playing in Game Changers that made me care about like competitive and care about the game on a deeper level, because something about just being in the environment with 9 other people all taking the game seriously, and it's a very like safe environment, right, and like very comfortable, and everybody's friends, and we have the like professional coaches, and all of that just was like, it really inspired me to just like put more into the game and try to see what I could do.
That's cool. So yeah, wow. So you were at the first ever one. How does it feel to kind of see it adapt and evolve into kind of what it is now? Is it essentially the same from your experience, or do you see changes?
No. It is very different and really exciting. So they've done it 3 times. This is the 3rd year. I've done it all 3. I've been in all 3 programs. And so the first year was very, very locked down. It was very private. They didn't post about it at all. After like the announcements went up, and it was for like safety reasons and stuff like that, and like privacy concerns. But I remember, and I'm sure this has something to do with why it's so public now, is because I remember all of the players in that year being like, we want it to be public. The first year was very, very like short and private. Second year was a little bit bigger. They upped the budget clearly because we had the whole like week and a half long trip to LA, and we got to go to World Finals. And we got to tour Riot, and it was really, really cool. So going from the first year to that was amazing. And then going from that to this, where it's like, it's multiple months, and we have our own teams, and there's 3 of them now instead of 2, and we're going to have like an actual finals on the LCS stage, is really exciting.
It's really cool to see the growth. And also, I mean, you get to be there experiencing it.
Right, exactly. Like, I get to see it grow, and I also get to be there and like help it grow at the same time, because they ask for feedback after the last 2 events and stuff like that as well.
That's awesome. That's cool. So I guess, I mean, you've touched on it a little bit, but I'll just ask the question. What does Game Changers mean for you?
The last Game Changers, like the 2022 Game Changers, was like, I think, a really big moment in my life. I met some people at that event that I think are going to be like lifelong friends. I got to go on that trip to LA, and it was really the first time I'd ever traveled on my own at all. I'd lived in the same place for 20 years, and I had never traveled on my own, and I was very much like, this was the first time I was getting to go out and like experience the world, I guess, right? And obviously it's Game Changers, it's its own like little bubble, but that was like really special to me. And I think that is the reason that I'm here right now at college in the first place, because I like was able to leave and like, I don't know, like experience something that wasn't the same like 3-mile radius for 20 years. And so the program is like very close to my heart, and I was really, really, really excited when I got to play again.
Describe yourself in 3 words. Pick any 3 words that come to mind that encapsulate you.
Describe myself in 3 words. Okay. Yeah, well, if I had to describe myself in 3 words, I would say that I am optimistic, anxious, and sentimental.
So why optimistic number 1? Because that's the first one that came to mind, right?
Mm-hmm. That came to mind immediately. I've sort of described myself as like a fundamentally optimistic person. I think that at the end of the day, I can get, just like anyone, I can get anxious and I can get like worried and scared and like upset or whatever, but I just know that it's going to be okay. And also, like, I get really excited about things, and I get really like this upcoming Game Changers trip, right? I'm super excited about this upcoming Game Changers trip, and I think it's going to be awesome. And I'm like, there's parts of it that I'm anxious about, but I know that when I get there and like I get through that, it's going to be fine.
So then, why is your second one? Could you repeat the second one for me?
Anxious. I am still a very anxious person. While I would say that I know that it's going to be okay, I still worry about it, and I still overthink about it, And so it is definitely an interesting combination.
Funny little dichotomy, yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was the third one?
Sentimental. And I feel like that just sort of encapsulates like how I was talking about how the Game Changers program is very close to my heart because it like meant a lot to me to go on that last trip. Just like I have a lot of like people and places and things that I like care about very deeply.
If you could not play League is no longer on the table for you.
Ooh,
You'll never play
crap.
it again. What game are you playing?
Melee. That is easily my answer. I love Melee. Shout out Magi. I love Magi. She's amazing. 100% that's the other competitive game that I like really, really love. Either that or speedrunning. Those are that's the other option. It's like the jungle clears, right? My whole thing, the jungle clears. It's just speedrunning. That's all it is.
What is your hidden talent? Or not hidden, just what is a talent that you have that you like to show off?
And I say jungle clears. Is that illegal?
I would like it to be something not related to League, but the jungle clear is kind of cool.
The jungle clear is my whole thing. That's like the whole thing that I do, and it's what I love doing so much.
Let's talk about the jungle clears first, then we'll find something else after.
It's because I played so much Nidalee, and I had to grind for hours upon hours to learn Nidalee's clear, because Nidalee has arguably the hardest first clear in the game. I spent a ridiculous amount of time, like tens to 100 hours probably over the years, doing just Nidalee jungle clears over and over again. And after doing that, I realized I kind of could do all of them. If you gave me like 3 or 4 hours, I could beat the timer on 95% of the champion. There's something about optimizing like your cooldowns and different transitions and different abilities and different kiting and like all of that just like clicks with my brain, and it's so much fun. I can do it for hours, and I do. I have done other short speedruns before. The first level of Celeste, I played for like 20 straight hours over like 2 days, just because I wanted to get a faster time.
Now it's your moment. You're on the podium.
Oh.
Anything else that you would like people to know about you?
I just opened up my Patreon.
Plug it.
Like, and the idea is that for X amount of dollars a month, you can send me your jungle clear, and I will personally tell you basically everything that you did wrong. And for a little bit more money, you can tell me to do a specific clear, and I will do it. So if I haven't done Talon Raptor Start, which is something someone asked for at one point, you can just tell me to do Talon Raptor Start, and I will optimize Talon Raptor Start for you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's really neat. I like that a lot. I'm gonna tell Rafa about that as soon as we wrap this up. I feel like he's gonna need that. When you mentioned the Nidalee clear time, I was getting flashbacks to our duo queue, but
oh my.
Yeah.